In 1702, deep in the mountains of northern China, there lived a woman named Li Mei, a herbalist, a widow, and a believer in nothing but the earth beneath her feet. She never heard the name Jesus, never touched a Bible, never saw a church. But what happened one cold winter night would change her life, and the lives of everyone in her village, forever. This is the story of Li Mei, the woman who met the light. Li Mei was born in the small village of Longtan, surrounded by misty mountains and rice terraces that glowed gold under the sun. Her husband died in a fishing accident when she was only 27. After that, life became survival. She was known for gathering herbs and healing the sick with roots, teas, and prayers to the river spirits. But inside she felt empty. Every day she asked the wind, "Why was I left behind?" And every night she waited for an answer that never came. Until one night the storm came. It was the 12th of February, 1702. The sky turned black by afternoon. Lightning struck a tree near Li Mei's house, setting it ablaze. She ran into the rain, trying to save her healing herbs and scrolls. But as she rushed to the burning hut, the ground gave way beneath her feet, a landslide from the soaked mountain soil. Li Mei fell, down into darkness. She hit the rocks below, her body shattered, lungs filling with mud and water. Her last memory was the sound of thunder, then silence. Li Mei opened her eyes, but she wasn't in the forest anymore. She was floating, weightless, in a sea of light. It wasn't sunlight, it was alive. Every ray felt like it knew her. She tried to speak, but the voice that answered wasn't from outside, it was from within. "You are not lost. You are found." She looked down and saw her own body below, broken, still, lying in the mud. Tears of fear turned to tears of peace. The light grew brighter, and in it she saw something, or someone. A figure walking toward her, not Chinese, not foreign, just love. "I am the way, the truth, and the life." The voice wasn't loud, but it filled every part of her. Images flashed before her eyes, a cross, a crown of thorns, hands with wounds that glowed like fire. And in that moment, Li Mei knew him, the one her soul had always been searching for. She fell to her knees, though she had no body, and whispered, "If this is truth, let me live to tell them." Then darkness again. 3 days later, the villagers found her under a pile of debris, cold, pale, breathless. But just as they prepared her for burial, Li Mei gasped, and her eyes opened. She was alive. They called it a miracle. She called it mercy. Her wounds healed faster than anyone could explain, and though she could barely walk, she insisted on speaking to everyone. She said, "The God of heaven spoke to me. He is real. His Son came for us." At first, the elders laughed, but when Li Mei laid her hand on a sick child, and the child stood up, they stopped laughing. In the weeks that followed, Li Mei's small hut became a place of prayer. She spoke of forgiveness, of love, of a God who doesn't need offerings of rice or incense, just a humble heart. One night she dreamt again of the light, and it said, "Build no temple. Let your life be the altar." Soon travelers began arriving from other villages to hear her story. She taught them a simple prayer, one she heard from the voice of light. "Light of heaven, live in me." And that prayer spread from one house to another, across mountains and rivers. Li Mei lived for 27 more years. She never left Longtan, she never wrote a book. But by the time she died, almost every home in her province had heard the name Jesus Christ from her voice. Her tomb still stands today, marked by one word carved into stone. Guang, light. Some say she was chosen, others say she was mad. But those who heard her story, those who felt peace when she spoke, they called her what she truly was, a witness. Maybe her story was never meant to be about religion. Maybe it was a reminder that the light still speaks, even in the darkest corners of the world. If you felt something from Li Mei's story, share it. Because maybe, just maybe, someone out there is still waiting for their own moment of light. Subscribe to True Religion, where stories of faith, mystery, and divine encounters come to life.